What's up, friends, and welcome to another showcase. What's up, friends, and welcome to another Indie Showcase dev interview. My name is Kyle, and today I'm joined by Sergey, one of the developers behind Omut. Did I say that correctly, Sergey, or did I butcher it really bad?
Yeah, you said it correctly.
Good, good, good. Yeah. So what we're going to start off with, just give us a little bit of backstory into your history as a game dev and you as just a gamer in general.
Yeah, sure. When I was a little kid, I used to play video games all the
Yeah.
time. But yeah, like any kid of my generation, yeah, I fell in love with the video games immediately because before the age of 7, basically, there were books and cartoons, but here's the new experience. Um, Yeah, I remember like playing on my PlayStation Spider-Man 2000.
Nice. Yep.
It's the best Spider-Man ever made.
I won't argue that.
Yeah, there is also a game. I don't know if you're familiar with the title Hard Truck.
No, I don't think
It's
so.
it's a truck simulator game
Okay.
developed by a Russian company. And actually, I used to play it with my sister. And she loved the game. She completed it multiple times. Yeah, and then like in the school, high school, middle school, we used to discuss games with like friends, coming up with our own games. And then after high school, it all came together, and I decided to become an accountant. And yeah, because like my sister didn't become a truck driver in America.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I Spider bites actually don't make you feel like Spider-Man,
No.
and
Quite the opposite, actually. They make you feel
yeah,
worse. Yeah.
yeah, and after that, I started playing in the university as an accountant. I was playing a lot of. You're familiar with Dota,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you this: after 5,000 hours in this game, there comes a point, a particular point, where you forget completely that you are on a Discord call with your buddy, and you start screaming, "You're going to break! You're going to break! You're going to break!" Trying to break your own leg, and he asks you, "Are you okay?" And after that, the leg either breaks or you want to become a game developer to share this experience, a similar experience with other people by making difficult games.
I, I love
Yeah,
that.
and after that, a lot of prototyping. On the third and fourth course of the university, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
was basically skipping my school and meeting people on the internet and making games with them. After that, I got a few jobs
Mm-hmm.
in few companies, making mobile games. And after my last job, I've met throughout these experiences, I've met a lot of brilliant people. And on the last job, I've met my friend Mikhail Alexeyev, who is the art director of the game, and with Timur Segutov, who I previously made game before, we decided to leave the jobs and start making like indie games, PC indie games.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, can you tell us a little bit about Omut and like, did any aspects from did like any aspects from Spider-Man find its way into this game?
Well, it makes you feel like somebody, but
Great. Cool.
not Spider-Man in particular.
Uh huh.
Yeah, but yeah, different games. Like for me, I'm only speaking for myself here. Um, as a game designer, from game design standpoint, Titan Souls, for example, really inspired me. Hotline Miami, with this one-shot, one-kill mechanic and the fast gameplay and the psychedelic visuals. um, yeah, Hollow Knight, Dark Souls boss battle games, basically. Um, yeah, it's like my inspirations. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
visually, it's inspired by a lot of other games. I have there's actually a huge list of things of our inspirations. If you after the call, after the
Sure.
interview,
Yeah.
I will gladly share it with you
Of
because
course.
there's a lot. I'll mention just a few.
Yeah.
There's like Cosmology of Kyoto, Yuminiki, Lone Survivor, Paratopic, and yeah, this is in terms of games that we
Mm-hmm.
played. Yeah.
Awesome. When the game was first submitted to the showcase, it was
hmm
called Alderchoke.
hmm
Why change it to Omut, and what does Omut mean?
Well, Alderchoke is like a nonsense
Sure.
type of name because we like didn't have time to submit the game to one of the game jams. We didn't know what to name it. In the initial prototype, yeah, it was called that. It sticked for a bit, but yeah, as I said, it's like it's like a random letters stuck together, and Omot it has a meaning like different interpretations. It's a literal translation from Russian to English would be whirlpool. Um uh, my pronunciation may be not perfect, but hopefully I understood. It's like in the
Mm-hmm.
water, this
Yep.
spiral thing. Yeah, and there is like a Russian proverb that translates. That has a similar expression in English, like "still waters run deep."
Mm-hmm.
Um, there, and it like has a representation in all aspects of the game. Basically, the our gameplay loop. You die and you repeat. You die and you repeat. You go insane. You break something.
Cool. I love that.
uh, visually and narratively, also there is like at first like the picture is clear, but then comes a moment of deconstruction. Like it becomes more blurry, more noise from narrative standpoint, like we go from archetypical structures of narratives to more abstract, absurdist, and I think this is a perfect name
Mm-hmm.
for our game. Yeah,
Awesome. You
and
meant
it visually also. I'm
yeah.
sorry
No,
for
no,
interrupting.
absolutely.
We also like think it's visually very strong because people like look at the games, right?
Yeah,
Look at the
absolutely.
titles,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it would stand out. We'll see.
I mean
Maybe it
that's a
would
big
be a
reason
flop.
why we wanted part of the showcase because it visually looks like something so different from what all the other indie games that are out there, and like
Yeah.
it's such a huge selling point when you look at the game. Like, man, I want to know what's going on here, which is awesome. You nailed it on that front. Uh, when it comes to you mentioned before that you're gonna be dying a lot in this game, so it's a difficult game.
Yeah.
What goes into finding that balance between difficulty and fun?
I don't know.
Yeah. I know that's a tough thing to because like
Uh,
for it's different for everybody obviously, but
yeah, the difficulty is an interesting aspect in terms of we don't really understand historically how it turned out that a lot of video games nowadays have difficulty levels. I don't really understand it as a game designer and as a developer because to me, as I look at it, different difficulty levels require um, like basically making a new game, like balancing the whole other game to create a certain type of experience on every level. And when I choose to play, like, when I decide what difficulty level am I going to play, how do I know it's like fit for me? I like Forbit. Yeah, that's why I decided to just make it difficult. Just make it really
love it.
difficult. But
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, the our wonderful publisher Megabit helps us a lot with the testing because with all jokes aside, I cannot really rely only on my, um, like, on me playing the game because I might miss something. If the attack is clear for me, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is clearly indicated to the player. I'm used to playing the game. It's like trivial for me at this point. But yeah, the difficulty is. But basically, you gotta test it, man.
Sure. Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta test a lot. You gotta look at how people play live or on the recordings. Better live because you like can look at their mouse movement. You can look at where they have their eyes on the screen. And yeah, and you like an interpreter. You try to interpret where the problem lies, and I hope hopefully we would solve it by the end of the development. Um, I think right now it's getting closer and closer to the um, in terms of difficulty of certain bosses to what where the sweet spot lies because yeah, I love playing Dark Souls games, for example, where I defeat the boss at the moment where I almost drop like
Mm-hmm.
drop the
Yep.
game,
Mm-hmm.
and I get this a dopamine rush
Yep.
after the defeat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The last time I felt that was, I don't know if you played Liza P. Um,
Hmm.
the final boss in that game took me like 2 or 3 hours. And at the end, I was like ripping my hair out. I was screaming out loud. Everyone was like, "Why are you so loud? It's just a video game." And then I said, "All right, one more try." And then I finally beat him on that next one. And I felt
Uh,
that was the biggest sense of like, "Oh my god, I did it!" So like, I understand that feeling of like, games can be difficult, but there is that fun kind of euphoria once you finally get through it, or it clicks for you. I love that so much. Um, in the on the Steam page itself, it says that this is a fever dream of a game. You've turned a fever dream into a video game. So, have you had a memorable fever dream, and did that lead into this game?
uh, we had a lot of dreams.
Sure. Yeah.
Actually, uh, the game was inspired by a dream, not a fever dream, but a certain kind of dream. Um, but I remember the strongest fever dream that I had. It was in my childhood, and there is a certain how to say a certain thing with fever dreams where you like have well you basically have a fever. I was
Yep.
like
Mm-hmm.
10 years old in I don't know in Fahrenheit how high it would be, but 40 degrees Celsius, it's basically 2 degrees more, and you're probably going to die.
Sure. Yeah. It's up there.
And I don't remember what the dream was in particular, but I remember it was like circular. It was like the same idea, the same visions going through your head over and over and over and over again. And you cannot stop it. Um, if you before the game is released, you probably could experience what the fever dream, a glimpse of what fever dream is. You could read a beautiful poem called Errol King. It's a great poem. It's also about a child in the forest. Yeah, a lot of science, man. You know,
That's great. I
throughout the
love that.
development of
Yeah.
this game, a lot of science.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, my most memorable fever dream. I was on my way to college, and we
Hmm.
stopped at a hotel because it was like an 8 hour drive, and I was coming down with something, and I dreamed that my entire family who was with me at the time was like poking me while I was
Oh,
sleeping. They weren't. It was all my dream, but it was nonstop for like 8 hours until I
mhm.
finally like woke up and I screamed at them, and they had no idea what was going on. So yeah, fever dreams are messed up because it's like it just repeats over and over again. You feel crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Um, in Omut, you have a in-game companion. From what I can glean, you mentioned that might be trustworthy, might not be. what goes into making a companion as like a storytelling narrative, or make it so like, because we've all played games with like companions that have been more annoying than helpful, and you just want to get rid of them. I'm looking at you, Resident Evil 4 with Ashley. Like, can't stand the OG Ashley at all. The remake was better, but like, how do you find that balance of like, you want the companion along because you're enjoying their company, but it's not being overly annoying?
Well, it's an interesting question because to me personally, what I from the design standpoint, I would like to achieve agency. I don't want the player to feel like it's just an NPC. I want them to do something from the like game design standpoint. I want them to be included in the gameplay. I want them to do things that they have their own mind and they express and they express it through action, through mechanics. And we have a few things in the game that we didn't didn't make yet. I don't know if we would they would be represented in the final product. That's why I can't really like share it right now because
Yeah,
it
yeah,
would
yeah.
be
No, that's totally fine.
like um
We don't want you to get into trouble. It's
basically
totally
like
fine. what uh, what makes the companion in this one stand out from other companions in games? Is it because it's more involved in the gameplay aspect?
we want it to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, we want it to be because to me, I've played a lot of like really cool games in terms of gameplay, right? We can remember, for example, Neon White, right? It's like super cool game.
very
It's
cool. Yeah,
original. It's fast paced. It's like a mix of genres that you didn't think that you could mix. But in terms of narrative, it's not really involved in the gameplay. And to us, we make games, right? We are not just writing fiction. Um, to me, the medium, and to us, to the studio, it's a medium where you press buttons, right? And it should be expressed in mechanics. Uh, as I said, cannot share more. Once it's done, maybe yeah, we'll update something on the
absolutely.
Steam page
Sure.
or leave it as a secret to the players.
I like the
Yeah,
secret. Keep it a secret. It's cool. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Sorry that
yeah.
we.
No, absolutely fine. No, I understand completely. Um, before we head on out here and you let everyone know where to follow you for any updates on the game and where
Mhm.
they can expect to play it, I'm going to ask you a question we ask all developers we interview for the showcase. There is no right or wrong answer at all, because it's kind of ambiguous. What does being indie mean to you personally?
Oh, this question. I
Yeah,
thought you
this
were gonna
question.
ask if I committed war crimes in
No,
Yugoslavia.
absolutely not. No, that's for a different
Okay,
interview.
okay. What does it mean to be indie? Um, well, indie, like it's a paradoxical thing to us. Well, we're kind of indie, but indie means like independent, and through through different mistakes, we found out that we are um, really dependent on different things. There is, of course, like independence of ideas. We can take more risks. Uh, we can do basically whatever we want. But we are really dependent on each other. We are uh, glad that we found a publisher. We depend on them. It's a lot of responsibilities, basically. Indie, it's like uh, a lot of the boys they hear stories about killing the dragon, right? It's like a growing up thing. For us, it's like also a part of growing. Like a person, you take a lot more responsibilities than like attending 9 to 5 job, right? You when you hire people to do some part of the job, you must be sure that you deliver a milestone in time, for example, that you have money, and you would have money consistently throughout the time. Um, but there is also one thing. When I was making games, I was there was like this idea of going like fully independent without a team, only you and this dragon. Uh, and a few times it didn't like almost turned me into the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I feel that this like there's responsibilities and there are people that I'm not only like responsible for. They like help out a lot, and the publisher helps out a lot, and it's an interesting experience. It's an interesting experience for me, for the team. We'll see, like if we hopefully we'll kill the dragon. Um, maybe maybe not, but we'll try again.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That was great. That was a great answer. Like I said, no right or wrong answer. I think you nailed it. Sergey, thank you so much for joining me to talk about Omut, and thank you once again for allowing us to show it off in our showcase. We're super jazzed to have it a part of it. If people watching this and watching the showcase want to know where they can find any updates on the game and where they can expect to play the game, shout it out now.
Yeah, on Steam you can find us by typing Omut. It's only 4 letters. Easy to type. OMUT. We don't right now. We are more focused on the development of the game. We don't often post on Twitter, but we have a Twitter page. It's Madame Cyclone at Madame Cyclone, and we also have our beautiful publisher at Megabit also on Twitter. If I was correct.
Yeah, we'll say you're correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally fine. Thank you all for watching and supporting the showcase. If you haven't watched the showcase yet, please go check it out on our YouTube channel or sixoneindie.com. And we love you very much. And remember, play more indies. Bye.